So the House voted in favor of a select committee to investigate the events of the infamous and historic January 6th, 2021. It passed with all the Democrats and 2 Republicans, Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, 2 conservatives who have been deemed as rhinos due to their reluctance to foment the lies of 45 about the 2020 election. This new committee will be chaired by 8 Democrats and 5 Republicans, who will need final approval from Speaker Pelosi. Undoubtedly, the Republican outrage machine will smoke up to life and start screaming about how unfair this is and it's just a partisan attack. Well, here's the kicker. Republicans in Congress voted against the independent bipartisan committee to investigate this that would have had 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans. That's about as bipartisan as possible in American politics. But Republicans in the Senate shot it down. They used the filibuster, which is a whole different issue. But still, y'all, Senate Republicans, Congressional Republicans, ripped so many holes in that bipartisan one that the only vehicle left was a partisan select committee. Now Democrats have total control of this investigation, an investigation into an event that many fringe, although a disturbing number of mainstream members are adopting this, the fringe members of your party believe was a false flag orchestrated by Democrats. The people who control the investigation have been accused of performing the actual event. That's hilarious. What was the game plan? How is this going to help y'all? It's hard to understand logically why you would have voted against the bipartisan committee, only to pave the way for the select one. It's mutually exclusive. Why would you have done one thing and said another? You said it was Democrats who did the thing, rioting in the Capitol, but you vote against the investigation that would prove it. I'll tell you why. You were trying to protect Trump. You didn't think ahead. You were following him blindly, that you didn't see the legislative semi-truck barreling down the highway. You didn't think that Miss Pelosi would do this, but now she has. It's not going to go well for you. You should have voted for that bipartisan one. I'm just going to tell you that. Now, I'm too familiar with the Republican outrage machine. Don't start calling this some partisan attack on the president or your party or cancel culture or whatever you're harping on now. The only vehicle we had left to figure anything out was a select committee. You shot the bipartisan one down. So no, you don't get to start criticizing us for this. Save your outrage for what really matters. Like all them kindergartners and elementary schoolers being taught the delicate nuances of our legal system and its volatility to race and racism. Well, that's the basics of critical race theory, by the way. But I'm sure you all have a healthy understanding of a graduate level legal theory. I'm being facetious, of course. I barely understand it myself. I see critical class theory as being more applicable to a modern legal system, but I digress. Save your outrage for critical race theory and all the money Biden wants to spend on infrastructure. Even though some of it may not be roads, it might be broadband or cell signal or child or elder care, which I gotta say, Republicans. I was in the Northeast recently, New England, home of all that liberal tyranny. And the cell signal was great. I mean, I'd say probably from Virginia to New Hampshire got a little sketchy. But I never outright lost signal. Meanwhile, in my deep red county, I can barely hold on to a phone call if I leave my driveway. So that's your play on the infrastructure. But anyway, as it comes to this select committee, you did it to yourself, and no one feels bad for you. Now, I watched that footage back, and my comments about critical race theory did seem a little bit, like, condescending. But my overall point was no one knew what critical race theory was, Republicans, until you guys started getting mad about it. So, I mean, just, you gotta think ahead. I mean, that's kind of the whole... You gotta think ahead about these things, because once you start yelling about it, then everyone's gonna start learning about it, and you shot yourself in the foot. Because now, I mean, I don't think it's all wrong. I don't think it's completely right, but it's not all wrong. But I was gonna say one more thing. To, like, Republican voters. I proceeded to forget what the heck I was trying to say for the next 10 minutes. But alas, I found it. Oh, yeah. There are other options, you know that, right? You don't have to just vote for Republicans. Because, like, I guarantee you, if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find a Democrat that holds most of your values. Because, like, I myself identify as a Democrat. Actually, got these in Boston. They're breath mints that say Democrat on it. And they were selling Republican ones, too. And they had sold more Republican ones than Democratic ones in Boston, which I found a little weird. But it was at a church gift shop, so I mean, I guess. But anyway, I'm a Democrat, but I live conservatively. I'm a Christian, Southern. I live like a conservative. So we're not all coastal elite latte sippers. Like, and trust me, I get mad at Democrats like that too, because the reason a lot of people like me don't hear from Democrats is because the big political action conferences that run the Democratic Party, some of them do kind of see us as a lost cause. So that's why any Southerner who has sort of almost liberal beliefs, you need to make your voices heard, because Democrats aren't going to listen to us until we do. And to those of you who may have, like, never voted for a Democrat in your life, I encourage you to listen, because I'll listen to you. Because I know my subscriber base isn't that big, but I plan on growing it. So, like, recommend videos and stuff. I'll try to make more videos. But, like, we can work with this stuff, you know? Like, I talk to Republicans all the time. Most of everyone I know is a Republican anyway. But, like, don't think of Democrats have a stigma about us. We aren't what you think. Just talk with us, okay? Work with us and we'll work with you. That's all I really want to say. By the way, that video was more aimed at Republican Congress people, because I can't work with them. Their voters I can. Their voters are good people. They just harness their goodwill for their malicious intent. And that's why I don't like them. They mess with my people, and no one messes with my people. So I'll see y'all later.